Hi students, welcome to Math Tonic. I'm really sorry because I was not well, that's why I couldn't make the video. I know tomorrow you have exams, so at the very last time, last minute, I'm just doing this prediction paper. Okay, so let's start. Okay, yes. So the first question that we have, the kinetic energy like of air passing through a wind turbine every minute is given 720,000 joule. The electrical output of turbine is 9 ampere at a potential difference is given 240 volt. So question is given, find out the efficiency of the wind turbine. So how to find the efficiency? So efficiency is nothing but output over input times 100, right? So we need to find out input power, we need to find out output power. Okay, how to find it input power? See, in every question I have tried to give the notes here, so that see what I'm trying to say is prediction paper doesn't mean that you will get the exact same kind of exact question. You will get similar questions, right? So I have written notes here so that you can understand if the question changes, right? If question is changed, you can apply this kind of formula as well. Okay, so first question is given that find out the efficiency, and I told you that efficiency is nothing but output over input times 100. So we need to find out input power and we have to find out output power as well, right? So power is nothing but is equals to energy transferred per unit time, or we can say work done unit per time. If you see in question is given energy, that is 72,000 joule, and time is per minute, right? That is given 60 seconds. If you put it, you'll get 12,000 watt. Did you got everyone clearly? And how to find the output power? See, output turbine is given 9 ampere, potential difference is given 240 volt. That means here we have to use one more formula for power, that is P equals to voltage times like current. So 240 times 9, we got 2160 watt. So output we have 2160, input we have 2000, or times 100, we'll get 18 percentage watt efficiency. Did you understand everyone clearly? Okay, again I'm saying that in every question I have written the notes. Please read down. If the question changes, you can apply it and get the answer as well. Okay, question number 2 is given that this is a metal pan on electric hot plate, and pan contains 200 centimeter cube of water, which is known as volume. The pan is heated and temperature of water in pan increases, right? So thermal energy is transferred through the metal pan by conduction, and state and explain in two ways that thermal energy is conducted in a metal. Very simple question, and this question is always repeated. Listen, due to what happens, due to movement of free electrons, the electron carry energy, okay, through the metal, vibrating particles and collided particles, and transfer energy. This is a very common question, you can get it. Okay, the water boils and leaves the liquid as a gas. Explain in terms of forces and distances between particles why the gas occupies much greater volume than it does at liquid. Very simple, because we know that in liquid the attractive forces between the particles are much larger, greater than in gases. That's why the gas occupies a greater volume and that than it does at liquid. Okay, state two ways in which the boiling differs from evaporation. What is the basic difference between boiling and evaporation? Evaporation takes place at the surface. You can see here, evaporation always takes place at the surface of the water. You can see here, right? But the boiling will be throughout the liquid. The boiling will be like throughout the liquid like this, but the evaporation will be happen on the surface. That is a basic difference. And evaporation takes place at any temperature, but boiling only at fixed point. For example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Until it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, it won't boil. But before it boils, the water starts evaporating at the surface. Did you get everyone clearly? Question number C, part C. The water is replaced by 200 centimeter cube of milk. Now there is no water, there is milk, which volume is given 200 centimeter cube. The initial temperature of milk is given 20 degrees Celsius. The boiling point of milk is given 95 degrees Celsius, and milk starts to boil, which is 607,000 joule of thermal energy has been transferred to it. The density of milk is given 1.03 gram per centimeter cube. Calculate the value of specific heat capacity of milk. Give an answer up to three significant figure. Listen, Specific heat capacity question is most common question you can expect. And again, I'm telling you, okay, they can see, they can give the question that they will give you mass, they will give you the change in temperature, they will ask you, they will give you energy, and they will ask you find out specific heat capacity. Or they can give you the specific heat capacity, they will give you mass, they will give you change in temperature, they can ask you energy. So it doesn't matter. Specific heat capacity, we have only this one formula. Did you get it? Q equals to mc times delta T. Q is the energy, m is the mass, c is the specific heat capacity, and remember this delta T means change in temperature. Okay, so unfortunately what we don't have is, we don't have mass. We need to find out the mass for that, and we know that density equals to mass per volume. If I try to rearrange it, mass equals to density times volume. Density is given 200, right? See, density is given 200, and volume is given, it is 1.03. can you see this? Sorry, my bad. Density is given 1.03 centimeter cube, and the volume is given 200 centimeter cube per milk. Okay, so now what is the mass we got? When you times it, you will get 206 gram. So now after getting what mass, we can replace this mass by 206. Can you see this, everyone? And remember, C is the specific heat capacity. That means we have to keep C as a subject, right? So Q energy is given 60700 joule, M we got 206, and change in temperature, not temperature, change in temperature. Be careful, everyone. The boiling point of milk was 95. Yes or no? Right, and the initial temperature was 20, boiling milk was 95. Then what is the change in temperature we got? 95 minus 20, that equals to 75. So here 95 minus 20 will be change in temperature. When you rearrange it, 60700 over, if I try to move it, 206 times 75, and this answer will be 3.93. Okay, and yes, be careful when you write the unit, that is joule per gram degree Celsius. Joule per gram degree Celsius, because this is energy, yes, this is mass, right, and this is temperature. So energy is present in the numerator, that's why it is joule, over this is what mass is gram, and this will be temperature, which is degree Celsius. Did you understand, everyone, clearly? Yes, this is a very good question. Question number 3, this kind of question also I'm expecting tomorrow that you'll get it. The question is given that a student completes a circuit, measures the current in 6 ohm resistor. So basically already I have written here, you can see here that here we have 6 ohm resistor. We need to find out what amount of current is flowing in that. I think question is asking that. Okay, first of all, draw an emitter symbol in one gap and straight lines to indicate wires, other gaps to show the student should do this. A voltmeter is connected to measure the potential difference across this one, and draw the voltmeter symbol connected to this one. Okay, let's start with the first one. Student completes the circuit and measures the current in 6 ohm resistor. Draw an emitter symbol. See, emitter symbol means here we have to use emitter. So remember, emitter is always connected in series. So I have written emitter here. Can you see this, everyone? Okay. And the CD and EF has been joined with the plain wire. Next part is given voltmeter connected to the measure the potential difference across 4 ohm resistor. You can see here we have 4 ohm resistor, and voltmeter is always connected through parallel. You can see here voltmeter is always connected in parallel. So I have joined here voltmeter. Can you see this, everyone, clearly? Okay. Next is, with the circuit completed, the current in 2 ohm resistor is given 2.5 ampere. That means in this, the what is the current is flowing is given 2.5 ampere. So question is, find out what current will be flowing in 6 ohm resistor, basically in this wire or in this wire. Okay, so what amount of current will be flowing? So what I did is I tried to find out here. Already we have current that is 2.5 ampere, and this is resistance is given 2, right? So we can find out the voltage here. So how to find the voltage? So voltage across 2 ohm resistor, that is V equals to I. 2.5 times 2, that is 5 volt. What does it mean? That means this branch and this branch connected in parallel, that means that will have same voltage. So for this branch it will be 5 volt, for this branch also will be a 5 volt. Do you understand, everyone, clearly? Now listen, if 5 volt is flowing through this one, and here we have V equals to 5 volt, right, and we have resistance is 4, so we can find out what ampere of current is flowing in this wire. So current across 4 I think ohm, that is I equals to V over R, that is 5 over 4, we got 1.25 ampere. Do you understand clearly? So here we have 2.5 ampere, in this we have 1.25 ampere. That means at this particular node this two current definitely will be added, right? So it will be 2.5 plus 1.25, we got 3.75. Did you get it? When it enters, it is split in two parts, right? Again it will like exit from here, the total current will be 3.75. so 3.75 ampere will be flowing in that 6 ohm resistor. It's a very good question. You can expect this kind of question also tomorrow. Be practice in these questions. Okay, next part. Figure 10.2 shows the same electrical circuit with alternating current power supply where is gap is given AB. Okay, so you can see here this AB is gap is given, right? Draw the diode symbol in one gap, straight line to indicate wire in the other gap. That there is a current from right to left, 4 ohm resistor, and alternating current in the 2 ohm resistor. Okay, basically saying that the current is flowing this way and here it is given alternating current right now. Okay, so we need to join CD by wire, and EF I need to put diode. So for this question you would remember how the diode looks like. The diode would look like this. This is symbol of diode. Okay, okay, as the question is given that current is flowing from left to right, that means your diode will be connected in this way, because this will be known as, see, if we have a diode like this, no, like this, so current will be flowing in this way. Okay, this is called forward biasing. If you do like this, the current won't flow in this way. So that's why this is most important, because this will be known as reverse biasing and this will be known as forward biasing. So as the current is flowing in this way, to flow the current in this particular circuit, we have to join like this. Did you understand everyone clearly? And yes, be careful, you have to remember the symbol of diode as well. Next question. The car is mass m is traveling along a straight horizontal road, constant speed v. The time t equals to 0. The driver of the car sees an obstruction in the road ahead of the car and applies the brakes. The car doesn't begin to decelerate at t equals to 0. What is meant by deceleration? That is easy. We know that deceleration is nothing but negative acceleration, and yes, change of velocity unit time, that is called, see, acceleration equals to, we know that v over t, right? But when it is decreasing, that is known as deceleration, which is negative acceleration. This part is easy. Suggest one reason why car doesn't begin to decelerate at t equals to 0. Because delay in applying brake due to human reaction time, obviously, right? So car doesn't begin to decelerate at t equals to 0. It will take time to stop, right? And that is because of human reaction time, that applying brake will be delayed. Okay, next question is given. This is a distance, this is what, time in x-axis, distance in y-axis. Question is given, state the property of distance time graph that corresponds to speed. Obviously, so we know that if you have distance time graph, and imagine we have a graph like this, and the gradient of the graph will be known as speed. So gradient of distance time graph will be speed. Determine the initial speed of v of the car. Now tell me, I told you already, we have to find out the gradient of this curve. And see, there are multiple ways to do this. You can tuck in, you can just choose any point on the curve, then you can draw tangent. On the tangent you have to, you can take any 2 points, you can draw line, rise over run. This will be known as gradient, right? But in this question you can see here, from here to here, this is a straight line, right? So I try to take this. So this is 0 0, and this point I think I'm getting 122. So from these 2 points I can find out the gradient by using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I have taken 2 points, put the here, y2 is given 22, y1 is given 0, x2 is 1 and x2 is 0. So when I put it, I got gradient equals to 22, which is speed. Did you get it? See, I'm going very fast, so because time is less, so please, we can just make it slower, pause it, and you can just learn it. Okay, and I am damn sure that this kind of question you will be expecting. I know you are well prepared, but please, if you haven't go through this kind of questions, please go through right now. I'm expecting this kind of question tomorrow. Okay, next question is given that when the car is decelerating, there is a constant resistive force F on the car due to brakes. Okay, the deceleration of the car is greater than force over mass and is not constant. Explain why. that a deceleration of the car is greater than force over mass, or we can say F over m. Because listen carefully, whenever this is a car is given, right, you applied brake, yes or no? When you applied brake, the car doesn't stop only, not only because of brakes, plus it is because of some air resistance also, because when the car is moving, obviously air resistance increases, right? So obviously there must be air resistance which is stopping the car as well. That's why the deceleration of the car is greater than force over mass. That means air resistance increases the deceleration. Okay, deceleration is not constant. Why? Because when the listen, when you increase the speed of the car, like increase the speed, so air resistance also will be increasing, yes or no? So when velocity decreases, when you decrease the velocity, so air resistance also decreases. That's why your deceleration also decreases. So that's why deceleration is not constant. Okay, so basically I have written notes for you also. You can understand from this way that deceleration is nothing but is equals to, like it is given, F over m, right? So force, or like force means total resistance force over mass. I told you right now that resistance force means two kind of forces I have given. One is brake plus resistance force over mass, right? Now when resistance of force is decreasing, that means numerator is decreasing, means your that d deceleration also decreasing, because this will be directly proportional to this numerator. Did you get it everyone clearly? Again, I'm saying if I'm going very fast, please pause it, just try to learn it, or make it slow and listen what I'm trying to say. Question number 5. Okay, question number 5 is given. Yes, this is a question of radioactivity. The two of the isotopes of hydrogen are 2, that is 2H1, that is hydrogen 3, 3H1. You can see here, state one similarity in composition of the nuclei. Very simple. They have same number of protons. How we can say same number of protons? Can anyone tell me? Yes, I have given example for this case. I try to show you here. When I'm writing 3H1, this is known as your proton number. Can you see this everyone? This is known as proton number. The upper number represents called nuclear number, or we call it as atomic mass or weight. And nuclear number is nothing but proton number plus neutron number. Do you understand everyone clearly? If you compare these two things, so we can see they have the same proton number, that is similarity we have. Describe how nucleus of hydrogen 3 differs from the nucleus of hydrogen 2. Very simple. Here we have 2, here we have 3. That means here from this we can say one proton, so that is one proton plus two neutron. This is, here we have one proton, that is 1 plus 1 neutron. That means here we have one more proton. So I have written here different number of nucleons, and hydrogen 3 has one more neutron. Do you understand everyone? In nuclear fusion reactor, a nucleus of hydrogen 2 fuses with nucleus of hydrogen 3 at extremely high temperature. The fusion reaction produces an isotope of element X and releases neutron. Okay, explain why an extremely high temperature needed when forcing these two nuclei together. Okay, why we need very much high temperature? Because if you see this, that both nuclei or both nucleus are positive charge and they repel each other. See, if we have positive both charge, it will what? Repel each other, right? So high temperature produces high kinetic energy due to large quantitative work against the force of repulsion. Sorry, did you understand everyone clearly? Again, I'm saying question is given why we need extremely high temperature needed when forcing this two nuclei together, because as I told you, the both have the positive nuclei, so they will have repulsive force, right? So yes, so as they are repelling in nature, so we need high temperature which produces high kinetic energy to do a large quantity of work against the force of repulsion. Sorry. Using a nuclear notation, complete the equation for this reaction. Simple. So basically remember, in this kind of reaction, okay, the nuclear number should be exactly same, and as well as your like proton number. For example, you can see here this 3 plus 2, that is 5. So one neutron, if I take it out, right, so that will be 1 and 0. That already you know that if it is 1 and 0, this element will have 4, because 4 plus 1 is 5, and here 4 2. And this element, I know that the helium has it like 2 protons and 4 nucleons. Did you get everyone clearly? Yes. Next. Okay, this is a question of optics. Okay, Now this question is given that shows a semicircular transparent plastic block and the ray of light is incident normally on the curved surface block. The refractive index of plastic is given 1.5. Question is find out what is critical angle. See, if I ask you what is critical angle, already I have written the note here. Again, I'm saying please read the notes because if the question changes, you can understand what kind of an answer you have to reply. What critical angle is when, listen, for example, here we have the here we have a like block we have, right? If when the angle of refraction is exactly 90 degree to the light is refracted along the boundary, okay, at that point the angle of incidence is known as angle of reflection, sorry, angle of critical angle. So I have written here, you can see here, right? If this is this angle, right, this is called incident angle and this is called what, refraction, angle of refraction, right? If it is with the normal it is 90 degree, that we can say the incident angle becomes critical angle. Like I'm saying, when angle of reflection is exactly 90 degree, the light is refracted along the boundary, at this point the angle of incidence will be known as angle of critical angle. Okay, so when the question is given find a critical angle, remember this only one formula, that is n equals to 1 over sine c, and c is the critical angle, right? What is n? N is refractive index, which is given 1.5. Rearrange it. Sine c equals to 1 over 1.5, c equals to sine inverse 1.5, 1 over 1.5, we got 41.8, and after two significant figure we can write on 42 degree. This part is okay. Next, draw a path of ray in the block and after the ray emerges from the block. Oh, we need to draw this one, remember. So as I told you already, this will be like, see, this is creating 90 degree here, you can see here, this is normal we have, and it will be reflected back, right? Refracted back, you can see here, right? And remember this two critical angle will be exactly same. If this is 42, this angle also will be 42, and this goes with the perpendicular way at this point. Okay, yes. So find, okay, full scale diagram of lens and object is given. Okay, so question is given, the point marked F shows the position of principal focus of this lens. You can see here this is, and this is called principal focus, right? Okay, listen, principal focus, there is other point known as the focal point as well. Okay, determine the focal length of the lens. Now tell me, what do you mean by focal length? What do you mean by focal length, right? Listen, we can say for, okay, this is what kind of lens? Can anyone tell me? This is called converging lens, right? Distance from the lens to the focal point or principal focus is called focal length. Basically it is asking about find out this length, the first question, right? So you can use ruler, just put it, and yes, be careful, you have to just go through the center of the lens, right? From this point to this point, put the ruler and get the answer. This is known as for like distance, the focal length, that is called, which I got 7 centimeter. Okay, and remember this is a lens we have, this is called principal focus, or we can say focal point. If I try to find out the right hand side, this is this distance equals to this distance, so we can find like P, or we can say F, that is called principal focus or focal point. Got it everyone clearly? Now draw two rays from the object to locate the image level I. Very simple. Remember, whenever you try to draw one parallel line, it will pass through the focal point, or we can say principal focus, you can see here, and the non-parallel lines will pass through the center of the lens, you can see here, right? And if I go back, you can see here it is creating a virtual image at the back of the lens, right? Wherever it meets, this will be your image. Can you see here? Now, got everyone clearly? This part you understood. I have written the notes for that also. The principal focus focal point is nothing but the point at which the rays of light traveling parallel to the principal axis intersect the principal axis converge. If I say multiple parallel lines here like this, right, and every line will pass through this principal, or we can say focal point, like that. Did you understand everyone clearly? Yes, the line which are not parallel, they will be passing through the center of the lens, and definitely they are not meeting at this side. So if I try to draw the back side, they will meet at the back side of the lens, which is known as the image. I hope you understood this part. I'm sorry. So this figures towards a simplified diagram, okay, of an eye with rays from distance object. The path of the rays inside the eye of a person is short side. Okay, This is a retina is given, this is lens is given. Okay, draw an additional lens outside the eye, correct to short sightedness, and show the path of this one. Okay, listen, short sightedness means what? Diverging lens, remember, when you have short sided lens, that means you have to use diverging lens, or we can say concave lens. Okay, that is used to correct the short sighted diffusion. If the question sometimes asks you that what is short sightedness, the people who can't see the things that are far away only see things they're close to them, that is known as short sightedness, right? So what happens is, when you put the concave lens, or we can say diverging lens, the ray which is like falling on it, it is diverged like this, and here we have converging lens inside, so which will like collect this on the focal point at the retina. Can you see this, everyone? So definitely for short sighted, what I can say, ness, for this disease we can use a concave lens, or we can say diverging lens. Question number 7. Question number 7 is given, the sound waves have compressions and rarefactions. This is compressions and rarefactions. So compressions will be close to each other, the waves, and the rarefaction, the waves are not close to each other. So question is given that what is compression? You have to remember the definition. The region of higher density where molecules are close to each other, and definitely they have a high pressure. Be careful, remember this one. So compression means that they will have higher density, the molecules are close to each other, and they will high pressure. See, if the question modifies, okay, you can answers as well. Rarefaction was a region of lower density where molecules are far apart and have low pressure. Simple. Got it? We can see that light from the sun, we cannot hear any sound from it, right? State the reason behind it. See, simple. Because sound waves are called mechanical waves, and so sound waves or sound needs material medium to travel, because it's need a medium to travel, right? So it cannot travel through vacuum. That's why. So we cannot hear from any sound from it. Got it? During thunderstorm, an observer sees the lightning almost immediately but hears the sound of thunder several seconds later. The thunder and lightning are produced at the same time. Okay. The sound of the thunder is heard 9 seconds after the lightning scene. So speed of the sound in air is given 340 meter per second. Calculate distance of thunderstorm. Very simple. We know speed equal distance over time. Distance we need to find out. Speed of the light is given, speed of sound is given 340 meter per second times 9 means, yes, 9 seconds is given. When you times it, I got 3060 meter. So distance what we got, it will be 3060 meter. Do you understand, everyone, clearly? Yes. Next question is about this motor, right? Yes. Now it shows the horizontal flat coil in the magnetic field. The coil is connected to a cell and the coil rotates. If you see this question carefully, this is a battery. So battery is present means which kind of motor this is. This is called a DC motor. And remember, for DC motor we use left hand Fleming rule for DC motor to identify the force. Again I'm saying, for DC motor we use left hand Fleming rule, okay, to find out the identify the force. So determine the direction of movement of the AB relative to plane of coil and direction of movement. Very simple, because see, if this is the battery plus, this is minus, so current will flow in this way, right? Yes or no? So this AB will go downwards. This will be go downwards. And okay, so this is I've written here downwards, or we can say anti-clockwise. This is a movement. Explain how we determine the direction. How? Because I told you right now that for DC motor you have to use Fleming left hand rules. See, the direction of thumb will be known as force, and your magnetic field will be moving from like north to south, we can say left to right, and that second finger, or we can say the current, will be passing through the page like 90 degree to this field. Can you see this, everyone, clearly? So using Fleming left hand rule, magnetic field is pointing to the right and current to the page. Simply you write down the rule here. State and explain what happens to coil when it reaches the vertical position. So what means, now here we have a coil, right? Now the coil will go like this, like this, okay, vertically. So what happens? So there will be no more torque, but coil keeps rotating to the inertia, correct? And the coil swings backward until stops. there will be no more torque, because when it will be like 90 degree to this one, right? You can see here there will be along with the magnetic field, right? Yes. So what happens? So there will be like no torque for that, but the coil keeps rotating due to the inertia. So coil swings back until it stops. After some times it will stop. To operate as a motor, split ring commutator brushes are added to the parts shown in figure. So explain why that yeah, this x is given. Okay, explain why the effects of the split ring commutator and the brushes on the external motor. See, you have to remember the operations or the functions of what I can say, the split ring commutator. So basically, split ring commutator reverses the current and forces in the coil every half cycle. What, or we can say, reverses direction of current every half turn. Okay, so that coils keeps rotating in the same direction. That is a what I can say, the effect of the splitting commutator and the brushes. Okay, next part, question number 9. The time taken for Mars to the orbit the sun is given 690 earth days. The average orbital speed, or sorry, radius of the Mars is given 2.28 times 10 power 8 kilometer, and Earth day is given 24 hour. Calculate the average orbital speed so of the Mars. So you have to remember the formula: distance over time, and orbital speed is 2 pi r over t. Right? This is 2 times pi, and radius is given 2.28 times 10 power 8. And be careful, it is given in terms of kilometer per second. So I need to convert this 690 days to seconds. So 690 days, 1 day is 24 hour, 1 hour is 60 like minutes, and 1 minute is 60 seconds. So keep on multiplying, that will be converted into seconds. When you put this one in calculator, you will get 17.27 up to like 3 significant figure or 1 decimal place. We can write down 17.2 kilometer per second. Did you get it? What is the shape of orbital planets? Easy, it will be elliptical. Now light from the distance galaxy is redshifted. What do you mean by redshift? Also, this is definition. You have to remember this. It is apparent increase in wavelength due to source of light moving away. That is known as redshift. State the quantity when the redshift of galaxy used to calculate. This is called relative velocity from Earth. Okay, this is one more question we should remember. Okay, next question is define the moment of force about a point. So the definition, one more question. Remember, moment of force about a point means it is force times perpendicular distance from a point. We can say the product of the force and perpendicular distance from the point. Now this is a question. This was a uniform rod wood suspended from a pivot. You can see here, this is a pivot we have. This is the yes rod. This is the rod, and this is the pivot we have. Okay, the rod is held by stationary, means it is in equilibrium position, by horizontal force F acting as shown. This is horizontal force is applying. So mass of the rod is given 0.080 kg. Okay, question is find out what is the weight of this one. Oh, very simple, because we know that weight equals to mg, mass is given 0.8, and g equals to 10 meter per second square, which is acceleration due to gravity. When you times it, we'll get 0.8 Newton. Please don't forget to write the Newton, that is the unit of the force. Okay, next question is given the moment of W about the pivot. See, W is going downwards, right? If I try to draw this one, and I told you that moment equals to distance times, sorry, force times perpendicular distance. I told you right now. If this is a force or W is this will be the distance like the perpendicular distance, right? Which is given 0.25. Simply we can write down 0.80 times 0.25. When you times it, we got 0.20 Newton meter. Be careful when you write the moment, because N is for force and meter is for distance. Got it? The moment of force about is pivot. Moment of force. Okay, if you see the question, means it is asking about this moment of force, right? Now tell me, the rod is held stationary. That means it is in equilibrium. Remember, there is a condition for equilibrium. What is that? Clockwise moment, the total force in clockwise moment equals to total force in anti-clockwise moment, right? That means if it is moving in this way, okay, that moment that will be equals to moving in this way. Yes or no? So already we got it force. What is the force we got it? We got it about 0.20 Newton meter. So this moment also will be 0.20 Newton meter. The force, how to find the force? F. Now we are asking about this one. Remember, if this is the force we are talking about, then this perpendicular distance for the pivot will be 0.75 meter. Be careful. In the previous part, this was the force and this was the perpendicular distance. Got it? This time this is a force and this will be a perpendicular distance on the pivot, that is 0.75 meter. So moment equals to F times perpendicular distance. Moment we have 0.2, force I need to find out, this is 0.75, rearrange it and check this, you are getting 0.27 Newton. Did you get everyone clearly? Next, the angle between the rod and the vertical is increased. State whether the force F needed to hold the rod stationary must be increased, decreased, or stay the same. Explain the answer. So question is given that right now what happens, the angle is increased. What does it mean? If I try to do like this, so this angle will be 34, this theta, right, whatever it is. Now this one, if I try to increase this angle, that means this angle now increased, right? If this angle is increased, you tell me the perpendicular distance was 0.75 meter for first case. If I try to move this, so what is the perpendicular distance will be reduced? Yes or no? If I try to move this up to this one, if I try to draw the base, this perpendicular distance will be reduced. So what happens? So we know that moment equals to force times perpendicular distance, right? If perpendicular distance is like increased, sorry, yes, perpendicular distance is decreased, right? So what will happen to this one? Moment. But I need to moment keep constant. As per the question, I need to keep the moment constant. That means what I have to do is, if I try to take the other side, so moment over distance equals to force. If a distance is decreased, perpendicular distance, then we need to keep force increased. So I've written here perpendicular distance of force from F from pivot has reduced. To get the same moment, F need to be larger, that is like bigger, we have to make it. Okay everyone, so if you listen, I know that I went very fast, so please load the video, watch the video properly, and I have written all the notes which like each questions, go through it. Okay, so I don't know whenever you have exam and tomorrow morning, but I'm really sorry, I was not well, so that's why I couldn't make the video. At the very end point I'm just doing it, and please I have guts that tomorrow you are going to get exactly similar kind of questions. Okay, for tomorrow everyone, all the best, and once you come back from the exam, please do comment how was your exam, and thank you so much.